I'm Scott Russell, aka 6 Bites In, and on today's episode of Love Augusta, we're visiting Second City Distilling Company. Hey David, how's it going, man? Thank you so much for doing this today.
Yeah, man.
I'm so excited to be here, and I'm pretty thirsty, so I'm ready to go. But why don't you tell us a little bit about how this all got started?
It goes back to 2013 in a little town called Edgefield, South Carolina. We started Carolina Moon Distillery, and then we grew into Augusta in 2019. Second City Distilling Company is Augusta's first and only distillery, and we specialize in whiskey, but we have vodka, gin, rum. We have our Dirty Girl RTDs and our cocktail mixers, and we'll be glad to show you around. We can take a tour.
What?
The whole story.
I'm all about that. Let's do it.
All right. All right, Scott. So come on back here. This is our first room.
Wow.
Where the magic happens, so to speak.
Neato.
Our distillation room. We have our old school pot still here. It is set up in reflux column mode right now. So what we've got set up is a 4 times distillation. We would have run rum out of this over the last couple of days. If we were doing vodka or gin, we'd stack 2 more plates on there and go 6 times.
Man, that would be way up there.
Yeah, it would go on in. Like I said, it's kind of bootleg. Instead of raising the ceiling, we just pop the ceiling tile out. But we did that for a reason. Typically, we run what's called a whiskey pot still, which would be where we take all of the column down and we put what we call the horse's head back on.
Just right on top
of that, and it connects into this, which this is old school setup.
I was about to say, this is kind of what you're used to seeing.
That's right. That's what you see.
Old school distillery.
Alongside a creek under the moon, so to speak.
Exactly.
So that's what we do most of, and that's how we distill our whiskeys. Also, kind of goes back to our history. We've always used what we've had.
I was about to say, I noticed these barrels right here.
So yeah, this is a fermentation tank. We do have some nice big fermenters, but we only use them from time to time. This is a little bit easier for us to do because, as you can see, we like to keep everything on wheels so we can move it around.
Right. And so is this like about ready to go?
This particular corn mash is ready to go. We know
man,
because of that smell.
You can smell it.
When it gets that sour smell on it, and you can even taste it, it'll be bitter.
Oh yeah.
If it's that's one of our key indicators. It's got that nice bitter taste to it.
Yeah, it's almost.
That means all the sugars that were in there have been fermented and turned into what we're trying to get out, which is the alcohol.
Yeah, there you go.
So
the good stuff.
The good stuff. That's right. So we do actually do the chemistry part of it and check our fermentations to see where they are, what the ABV is, what we should expect to get out when we distill it.
Yeah.
But the old school methods, like the tasting and watching the yeast and how fast it's working, they're tried and true. They still work. There's a reason why people did it.
I was about to say, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So we do our distillations in here, and then our next room, which is kind of one of our showpieces, just with the skylight and everything. But it is our on-premise warehouse. We do have what is called a non-contiguous location where we store all of our barrels, some of our raw ingredients, and weekly we will bring those down on an order. We place that order, internal order, and we will bring that down depending on what whiskeys we're running, whether that's a wheated bourbon or one of the ryes or anything like that. We'll bring the barrels down here and get them staged and ready for our bottling process, which is in the next room. But this is kind of the Cadillac of our operation right here. This is
this looks like a lot of science right here.
Yeah, we call this the WG5. It's a Wild Goose Evolution 5-head filler. Is where the WG5 comes from.
Can we walk over there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Let's go this way. So in this process.
I see.
Oh, that's all right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm talking over you.
I was just going to say, I see what's going on now. So the cans, this fills up the cans.
That's right. So we'll start.
This is awesome.
We'll start from this whole process in this old dairy tank. This is what we call our blend tank. And we'll take all of our ingredients and we'll add them to this tank. And then with our little transfer pump that we've got right here, we will transfer all of that liquid over to these tanks. These are called bright tanks. And so what happens then is we turn this chilling unit on, and it turns these puppies into icicles. So when we come in the next day after we do the blending process, these things will literally be frozen over.
No way.
And yeah, and the product inside will be at usually 30, 32, sometimes we'll get down to 31 and a half, and it is the best taste you'll ever get when you taste it right out of the tank.
680 gallons.
Yes.
That is a lot.
Yeah, when we run these, when both of them are full, we'll run just over 10,000 cans in a day.
Wow, 10,000 cans.
Yeah.
That is wild. All through this machine.
Through this machine right here. So yeah, the next process after these things are cool, really cold, this tank behind you is CO2. Mm-hmm. So we connect them to the bottom, and these bottom valves down here is what's called a carb stone or carbonation stone, and it creates tiny little bubbles of CO2 that then are absorbed into the liquid. Same thing as a Coca-Cola would be, yeah. Or a beer for that matter. These are equipment that you see used in breweries all the time. So we're one of those crossovers with this new ready to drink category. Mm-hmm. We have to use equipment that breweries use to get that done, because otherwise there's really no other way to carbonate it.
And that's the Dirty Girl ready to drink.
That's the Dirty Girl ready to drink. Right now we have a transfusion, a vodka Rita, and a Bloody Mary.
Oh, man.
We've got a couple that are in the works that next spring we'll probably unleash those on the area.
Coming soon.
That's right.
Coming soon.
Look for it March and April maybe. All right, so after we've chilled and carbonated, then we've got to get it in a can. Mm-hmm. So what we do then is we take our distiller hose and we hook it here, and we hook it here. And then we open those valves, and all of this liquid's ready to come out into the what these are called our fill heads. And as you can see, there's already cans down there. Mm-hmm. So when these come down, they fill each can. And once it raises up, the conveyor belt will be turning. They'll come through. They come under here.
So that's when the can.
They grab their top, grab their lid, and it'll be set right here. And then it's sealed by what's called a seamer right here, that piece of brass.
Oh yeah, you can see how it kind of like crimps.
That's right, it touches
down.
each side. And then what we call the car wash, the can's kicked out, this will be spraying water, and it just cleans off any foam or anything that may have gotten on it.
Yeah.
Then it gets rinsed with air to dry it off. Then our printer is actually hooked here, and the print head will scan the date code on the bottom, and it'll come through. And then we hand pack everything off of this table onto what you see over here.
So you hand pack.
We hand
pack everything.
We do. There's a lot of things done by hand.
A lot of things done by. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're.
Yeah, no, we used to actually label
the tops on the bottles.
We used to label everything by hand in the glass bottles too. But as you'll see next, we've got a nice automatic labeler now that makes things run a little quicker than it used to.
Well, let's head over there and check it out.
All right, let's take a look. Here's our bottling and labeling room.
In full operation.
And we're wide open right now.
Wide open.
Wide open. So you can see the guys, they'll start over here on this sink where the bottles are upside down. They're washing them.
So every bottle gets washed.
Every bottle gets washed.
Yeah.
So washed and dried. So Colden's got them turned over there. They'll get water just to make sure there's no debris or glass particles in the bottle and things like that. Once he's done with that, then he'll go to the Moree filler, which is just a simple wine filler.
Yeah.
And you can see the bottles lined up now. They're getting vodka put in them at the moment.
And so you can do 6 bottles at once.
We do 6 bottles at a time, and that filler is capable of doing about 500 bottles in an hour.
Wow.
When they're really moving, they can churn through it.
Yeah, that is a massive amount.
Then Garland's got it getting its quart right there, and then he will take it from there, and it'll come down the labeling line. And as you can see, the first station, it gives it its shrink for the top, where it goes down there.
And that's what seals it.
It's shrinking it.
Okay.
And then it gets its label.
That's my favorite part, is the label being put on.
Oh, no, it's really cool. And then it'll come down here, and Jason's packing them up. And
once again, being packed by hand.
Yep.
Packed by hand. Tops been put on by hand.
Yep. And then it'll land on this pallet, and then out the door it goes.
Yeah. So I bet getting this label machine saves you a lot of time.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Well, I mean, just to give you an idea, we used to, when we hand labeled everything, we would be able to do this pallet would take us 2 days. and now they can do it in a couple hours.
Wow,
that's from blending point in these big tanks all the way to the end.
Man, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's one of those things that just kind of sucks you in to watch it run.
Yeah.
As it goes.
So now that we've seen this whole process, I guess the only thing left to do is go and taste some of it.
Try it out. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
So whether you're coming for one of our tours
or one of their delicious cocktails, come and see my friends at Second City Distilling Company.